Cavalier.
We're talking about alien Earth, everybody.
Yes.
In the future, government has collapsed. It's basically failed as a means of governing and supplying goods and order to people, and it's completely been taken over by corporations. I think there's like between 3 and 5.
Beginning of the cyberpunk.
And they own and kind of operate everything. So I forgot I had a point to all that, and I don't remember what it was.
Well, you think about that while I say hello to our friends and our family. Hi, everybody.
Friends.
Welcome to the Pocket Dimension. Today, we're going to be talking about why we switched to Daggerheart.
Keep that going. Keep that up. Yeah, there it is. Hit those notes, Maddie. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, hey guys.
Happy Friday. How is y'all's week gone? How's y'all's week gone? Seriously.
Is that us? Them? Who's that at?
Yours? Another Ryan's, David Ellis,
Dave,
Joel, Dave, Kev,
so many Davids,
and Kai, who both cuts and colors their own hair, which is boing, amazing.
Is it Fire Drake McPhee or McPhie?
I say McPhee, but that's a great question. I've never actually asked for clarification.
Is it Takela or Taka-Ella?
Is it Digital Twisted or Digital Twisted?
Digital Twisted.
Yeah.
I like
Welcome,
Digital
everybody.
Twisted.
Fee, thank you, Frederick.
Fee, five.
Welcome, everybody. Yeah, we are the Pocket Dimension, and you are our friends, and we've had a week. It's kind of like we've been on vacation. We came back from vacation, so
you were
first
on
week
vacation.
diving in. I was. Allison was. Yours is
You weren't.
but
It is.
One day you'll get a vacation.
You know, it's a little bit of a trying to get your footing back in Takela. Okay, great. Thank you, Takela.
I had a great week. I don't know what you guys are talking
Dreamweaver. You had a great week because you had a birthday. You and your birthday twin in the dimension, Kai. Another year better, hotter, faster.
I don't typically give too much of a toot about birthdays anymore. And I do pretty much subscribe to the Patton Oswald's belief.
Yeah.
Oswald or Oswald?
Oswald.
With a T.
There was a T.
Walt.
Belief that once you reach a certain age, you shouldn't celebrate every year. You should celebrate every 5 years or something, right?
That's so dumb.
I love that.
I don't agree with that.
No, I know, because it's like you turn, a milestone, and then the next year it's like whatever. Having said that, last year was my milestone. This year, not. But this year was just an amazing birthday. I mean,
But
last
what
year
did
was
you
great
do?
too. Last year was great too because all of you guys came down, and that was amazing.
Great.
So the band, you might be familiar with the band Nine Inch Nails. They were playing in Atlanta on my birthday, and much like I roped Elise into going to see Ghost with me. Prior, if I haven't explained this already, prior to that, Elise said, every time I would try to get her to listen to Ghost, she's like, "Ugh, this is basically a satanic Vertical Horizon." If you don't know, if that's a reference you don't get, go look at Vertical Horizon and you'll chuckle. Although aside, I will put forward that I think maybe Vertical Horizon is already super satanic and evil. Just on their own.
We don't know. When they said he's everything you want, he's everything you need, they were probably talking about Satan.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so long story short, Elise fell in love with Ghost and now listens to them on her own. It was an amazing
Naturally.
show, of course. And so similarly, she just for me came to see Nine Inch Nails. She doesn't listen to music like that typically. But the show was so phenomenally, mind-blowingly incredible that she had an awesome time. I mean, it was like performance art. It was truly, I've never seen an arena rock show like that. It was every moment was like so meticulously planned and curated from the moment you walk into the arena. Like all of it was just such a vibe, as the kids say.
Was this your first Nine Inch Nails show?
My second. I saw them on the Downward Spiral tour back in the 90s, baby.
Wow.
Gen
Okay.
X. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was an awesome show. They're known for like their incredible light shows, and Trent Reznor very much has a hand in all of that, like creating that.
Wow. Was this better? I feel like I know the answer, but let me let you answer. Was this better than your first experience, the one you had this week, or?
It's a great question.
Ranking
they were super different. They were incredibly different. And I was also like, in my 20s then, and I was like just to the left of the mosh pit, not daring to go into the mosh pit. The mosh pit was intense.
Yeah.
So I was pretty close to the stage. And I had the most incredible time. You're just getting jostled all over the place. This time I'm old. I have a seat. There were great seats. There were 2 stages, a small stage. It was when they opened the show. I know we'll get to the show in a second here, guys. I just have to get this out. They opened the
Daggerheart,
show.
Nine Inch Nails, 2 great tastes that taste great together.
I know. They opened the show on this small stage. They dropped this curtain. It's basically like a cube of curtain, and he's there by himself at a piano, and you could hear a pin drop in an arena of 12,000 people. That's cool. He's singing this song that is so intimate, just him, and that's how they opened the show.
Wow.
It was, I don't know. I can't. Yeah. If check the tour dates. If you live in a town where they are still coming to you, please go. It is worth any amount of money you have to spend. It's worth it. I promise. Okay, I'm done.
Gross. Fitz.
Hey, what about Daggerheart?
Full circled us. Wasn't everything you wanted? Wasn't everything you needed? Speaking of Fitz had some things going on at the apartment today. We miss you here on the screen with us, but we're glad you're in chat.
Yeah, chatty Kathy.
Apartment fun. It's always fun to do human adult things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
is it talking about AK? I'm very excited about today because it's been a little while since you have put on your incredible PowerPoint presentation hat.
Yeah.
And gifted us with a PPT. We like to call them PPDPPTPs.
There you go. Very good. You did it.
I practiced.
You did.
We like to call them that. And this one, I know that we've been skirting around this issue over the last couple of months, but this is kind of the definitive answer, right? Like, when I posted this to our Discord to say what this is about, I said, look, we are an equal opportunity channel. We grew up on D&D. We will probably always play D&D. And because of the OGL scandal, now we have not just older games that like Cyberpunk
busted games,
old busted whack games.
Yeah, games. So
not only do we have
no one cares
an enormous amount of old games that are amazing, but this new slew of games that are also, in other words. Our thing is there is a game for everybody. There's a game for everybody. That's just our thing. That is the bottom line. That being said, it turns out that for most of us and most of the time currently, Daggerheart is that game for us. I just did a video on Nimble, which I'm super psyched about. I cannot wait to try and play. I got Draw Steel. I'm gonna dip into that. Of course, Cosmere's coming out. But man, we have turned a major campaign.
Not out? It's not even out
not
yet?
officially. Not officially.
Oh, okay.
No.
Cool.
But we are turning a major D&D campaign of ours to Daggerheart, full conversion. And Allison is here to give us 13 reasons why. Is that right, AK?
Why?
Even more so, I think that, we've to what the points you just made, Matt, we've kind of like tiptoed around and like skirted around, and we've tried to be all like, oh, everything, there's a spot for everyone. And no, this today is about talking about the 13 reasons why Daggerheart is better than D&D.
This is F inclusivity.
This is F inclusivity.
Yeah,
this is the cage match, and we are not comparing Daggerheart to all TTRPGs. We understand that Daggerheart was built based around a lot of things that it very lovingly borrowed and credited from other systems. So I'll just knock all the rules lawyers out here at the top of like anything I say. Yes, I know there are other systems that do this too. I am head to heading D&D versus Daggerheart today.
Right. Now, will we do a video that shows 13 reasons that D&D is better than Daggerheart?
Oh, I won't.
Question.
Someone else can.
Allison might not, but we would love to hear them. We would love to hear your 13 reasons. Put them in this chat today. Come to our Discord, be our friend, and give us 13 reasons. I'll do that video, man. I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
So what today, it sounds like you're saying is 5e fans prepared to get your panties in a bunch.
Buckle
today.
up. Whoa. You're going to hate me today, and I lovingly accept your hate.
I know you'll get none from me.
I'm ready. I stand ready. Well, let's get into it then. I'll go ahead and show y'all my opening slide. 5e walked, so Daggerheart could double dash. Which is funny because there really isn't movement-based activity as much. There are, of course, ways to move within your turn and keep things balanced and in the spotlight and things like that. But Daggerheart is my Shikari. So that is what I am saying right here.
Get that reference.
That's who's running. That's who's in the lead. Shikari Richardson.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Gotcha. All right. Richardson, that's her last name, right? I could be wrong there. Shikari. I know I got that part right. 13 aspects that lap D&D on the track of TTRPGs. Are we ready to jump on in?
No.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Tough. So I've broken this down into sections because I like to be very organized, very formulaic, very analytical. This is an incredibly formal presentation. Lots of math. And no, it didn't. That's not what I like. But I did break this into sections just to kind of keep the flow good. All right. So let's talk about dice and the core loop. Duality dice, it's better than a success-fail binary. Every single roll delivers both outcome and flavor. Have you ever been so in the moment in D&D and then you roll low, not even necessarily a crit fail, but just like you roll like a 4, and it's just like it stops the momentum in its tracks. And then everybody around the table is like, womp, womp. I don't like that. I like that you can have successes and failures with hope, with fear. You can have crits. You can just kind of have this whole spectrum of delights. So I've called that no binary dead ends. Successes can sting and failures can sparkle. It is all a spectrum in Daggerheart. Any commentary from the peanut gallery?
Just real quick, what is that?
That GIF?
It's from SNL.
Oh, that's from SNL. Okay, got it.
I leaned heavy into the GIFs on this one. I'm just going to warn everybody. Maybe my usual design flavor is not in here, but we had some fun with the GIFs. And Daggerheart is saying, I am the spectrum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Failures can sparkle, successes can sting.
Yeah, y'all are allowed to talk if
lyrics.
You want to.
Well, you prepped us by saying that you wanted to, this is lengthy, so I didn't want to.
Yeah. But we can
burn too much.
We just
time.
don't need to belabor every single point since there are 13. Was all I was saying.
Sure.
Yeah,
I love duality dice. I'll say it.
Yeah, it's great. No.
I love any system. Yeah, I love any system that has that. Yeah.
There's there's something in my mind that I don't think actually transfers to reality, which is I have this romantic notion that in a binary system, when you fail, that it's not a dead end if you embrace the failure and roll with that, pun intended. But my experience of that somatically, if you will, is that it's like, oh, fuck, this sucks.
And that's exactly one of the places I could hear we'll call them more experienced players of 5e being like, well, in any table, yes, in any table you can. My point here, though, is that Daggerheart bakes it into the rules,
right,
as opposed to letting it be table stakes. And I just, I like that more.
Yeah.
I think it's more elegant than a lot of the D6 systems where, 1 to 3 is or 1 to 2 is a failure with consequences. It's just a little bit.
You get to roll more dice. It's more fun.
More dice, more things, more ability. Just, I don't know, a little bit more elegant. In my opinion.
All right.
Agreed.
All right. Opening shot fired. Let's see what's next. So speaking of, this was another one of my favorites. I'm sorry, I moved this from the end to the beginning. Ranges rule. I just think, again, like when I am playing 5e, and if you've ever played 5e with me, what you tend to see is me like up in here, like counting squares, like the whole time I'm waiting for my turn. And that's, to use the word Matt just used, it's not very elegant. It does, like spending my downtime waiting for my turn, counting squares to figure out like, I'm 5 feet too short to make this count, to make this move, to make this, attack. I don't like that. Yeah. So I just think it's more fun, more fluid, more collaborative in nature, just to kind of say, we're going to give you some ranges and we're not going to be married to them. We're going to have an open relationship to distance. And I like that.
Yeah, you gotta set that up front, right? Open relationships. You have to. Yeah, you gotta have an agreement. Yeah, it seems like in Daggerheart that you could. With every TTRPG, it can always be theater of the mind. Yeah. But when it's this open, you kind of don't really need a map at all.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. Right. I have successfully played Daggerheart without a map, whereas I'm constantly, can you either if we don't have a map, I'm asking for clarification constantly. Whereas with Daggerheart, when I'm playing a more theater of the mind, I'll just say like, hey, could I get so-and-so in my spell? And the GM can just go, yes. And it doesn't have to be this crunchy, put the brakes on moment in the game.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
I have one other, sorry, go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say real quick that I have been doing a Roll20 deep dive lately, and marveling at all of the glow ups that Roll20 now has, both design wise and functionality wise. I don't know if people know this, but they have just added the first that I've seen, because this is not just Daggerheart. The ranges there, a lot of systems now do something very similar, but now in Roll20 you can set it to do close, far, very close, very far, and it will kind of calculate it vaguely, but it's so convenient, like, because I've never seen that before. I love that.
Like how I like my restraining orders. I don't want the specificity. I just want you very far from me.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all get it. Ranges rule.
Ranges.
I
was before you move on, AK, I was just going to offer one last thing, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I was going to say that for the real. Hey, look who it is! Who is this? Who's this creature?
Who's that?
It's a very sweaty creature, but I wore my Daggerheart shirt.
Is it? Did you actually wash it though?
No, I have not washed it, and then I just got sweaty. Moving furniture, so now it's extra stank. Actually, no, I've washed it multiple times. It's my new Hyper Focus.
Okay, good. Thank God. Just so everybody, that's my Daggerheart shirt from Gen Con. So I was going to be really grossed out if Vince hadn't washed it, because I had stress sweat at Gen Con.
We'll tell the people that I haven't washed it. It still has your stress sweat, and now it's got my furniture moving sweat.
Stress sweat, flop sweat,
booty
sweat. Just get them all in there.
That's right.
The holy trinity of sweats.
Well, I just came to be learnt, so teach.
Okay.
Teach.
Oh, schooled.
Teach me,
Biv's got a
Coach, I wanna
question currently.
Okay.
It was just a final comment, just that I can understand why tactitional players, really would love, like, their hex map or whatever, and like doing all of
Yeah.
that type stuff, and they get that in 5e. I will say that I don't know if he does this anymore in DC20. Sorry, DC20 fans. Here comes some shade. I did not like the dungeon coach's decision to move from feet to squares. That made it feel more like a board game than an immersive experience.
Squares.
But
yeah,
like that was the step in the wrong direction. This is a step in the right direction.
In the right direction.
Anyway, it was a pointless thing, but thank you for humoring me.
Always.
I'm
Not
with you
pointless.
about squares.
Yeah.
Squares, hate them.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Goodbye. Goodbye, squares. Goodbye, range. Instead, let's keep it loosey-goosey, light, and fun. All right.
Here.
Yeah, all right. So we already talked about the duality dice. So let's talk for a second about what the GM does roll, because the GM doesn't roll duality dice. And at first I was a little bit David about that. But the more I GM this game that I love so much, clearly, the more I actually really like that there's a kind of separate mechanic. And so I've given us a shot of our lovely cheese castle here, as the GM is the cheese that stands alone. Because and Matt and I talked about this on a recent pocket guide. Why? Like, that was the big question, right? Is why does the GM roll a d20 when the players roll 2 d12s? And the answer is math. The answer is statistics. And I can't believe that I love something that is so math-based. But basically, what it comes down to is the GM, the DM, the Dungeon Master, the Dagger Master, whatever we're calling them these days, is supposed to be the heel. They're supposed to be swingy. They're supposed to give us high highs, low lows, and we're not supposed to be able to guess what's going to happen. Whereas we want the players to hit more than they don't. We want them to strike that middle range and be a little bit more consistent. So I think that the DM's continuing to roll the D20, continuing to roll advantage how we're used to in 5e. I actually kind of like that familiarity as a GM, so I don't feel like I'm totally stepping away from the thing that groomed me in this space. But I like that the crit can supercharge both the foes and the scenes. And I like that when there's a low roll, it can give these fantastic storytelling elements of the villain whiffing spectacularly against whatever shenanigans it is the players are up to. I think this is a feature, not a bug. Others may disagree.
Another Ryan does not. The math does do a lot to influence the way. Sorry, I could put this on the screen instead of reading it.
Don't disrespect the statistics.
I like that.
Don't disrespect the statistics.
One should
Respect the
not
wood.
disrespect the statistics.
One should not.
One should not.
Thank you for your proper grammar. Another Ryan. I totally agree. I have one more reason why D20. It's because it's a part of Critical Role's logo.
Okay, I'm into it.
I'm making that up, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm making it up, but that's fun.
I love it. And I love what DT said here too. And I love what Tequila said, sadistics. Players missing can be fun, but the villain missing is always fun.
Yep.
And as the one piloting villain.
Not for me. Just saying. Especially when I'm playing a druid. Kill me.
Kill me now, says
Can't
Evan
kill
always.
me quick enough.
That's McKill me, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else from this slide? Since I was too quick on the gun
Cheese.
on the last one.
Did you bring the
Cheese.
cheese?
Delicious,
now I just
delicious
want to go to
cheese
the
curds.
cheese castle.
Sorry,
Where?
not sorry. I always want to go to the cheese castle. Always.
Why is it
All
the
right.
Mars cheese? Like Mars bars?
Mars Cheese
I
Castle.
don't know. Mr. Mars,
Mars.
I think.
I love damage thresholds, y'all. I love them so much. I think it makes it so much more fun in game to actually get to roll that. And rather than it just being a stack of hit points, for there to be these kind of like mid, major feelings around it. And so I put what changes when how well matters as much as whether or not I hit. And of course, our very good major damage going on here in the GIF sidebar.
Yeah. Major damage. It is fun. It is. I know this is one that's definitely controversial for a lot of people. A lot of people do not like this concept. But what I like about it is it really there are some attacks that just don't do much because of the damage threshold. And this is why people don't like it.
Right.
However, it does encourage y'all to work together, which is such a hardcore part of this game. It really, like, how can we maximize the damage? So this is not a min-maxer game, but it is right here. You know, it's like, this is where the min-maxer in you can come out, because you're trying so hard to pass the different thresholds to get into the super. Okay, here, you know, AK, there has been shade upon this in that you don't have something past severe, but
yes, you do.
You assure people that there is a rule that you can easily implement. I feel like it's going to be the bonus action drinking a potion. It's going to make it to the official rules. You know, it's still math, just like DC 20. It's fives or whatever it is. Whatever number it is, it's not fives, but you just keep going up.
Just to clarify for anybody who's not aware of it, it is a supplemental rule, but I think I've codified it. I think everybody else has, at least that I've played with as well. If your damage is double the severe threshold, you do 4 points of damage. Which for me is the thing I use to fuel tag teams, because it's like, man, if you're going to pour some resources into this hit, like I want it to pay off, because if we drop off after 3 hit points marked, that steals a little bit of the fun for me. So the fact that we can kind of keep on stacking beyond that, I think is so brilliant, so fun, so well done. It really, and so a couple other things on that. I love how in Daggerheart, a lot of the things that we can fuel our moves with can also be added to damage. And I think that's why I put this as like damage thresholds. So for instance, like Bardic Inspiration in 5e, I can use it for an action roll, for a save, for something like that, but I can't add it to my damage. I wish I could. In fact, I've played games where I have allowed people to add Bardic and DM's Inspiration to damage rolls because I like juicing it, right? So I love that there's so much in Daggerheart where when you have some kind of bonus die, you can use that bonus die on damage, which again then makes this damage thresholds point right here even like have even more stakes, right?
It makes sense,
So
it really does.
I love it. I love that. I have a hypothesis, and y'all feel free to tell me if you think I'm wrong, or for those of you, like, tell me in the chat, in the comments, where in the Daggerheart journey you joined. I wonder if those of us who really, really love the damage thresholds started playing in the beta. I wonder if the people who are slower to warm up to it started at the full release. Therefore, it feels very new, very different, very mathy. Whereas those of us who went through all the different iterations when there was even more math going on, now we're all like, you crushed it, you nailed it in the final release. The way this is done, you rolled a hit, measure against evasion or difficulty for the adversaries, and then you roll damage, and then you have thresholds. Feels simple because we all had to crawl before we could run through the beta.
Oh, you mean because with like the different armor and stuff like
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the math, and we were like, that felt so clunky. So now this feels so seamless and great. Whereas people who are just experiencing it now are like, whoa, that's different. I don't like it.
I see what you're saying.
I could give you my perspective.
Do it.
Based on
How dare you?
What you just were asking. I have been not as immersed as you have been, AK, obviously, in the game since the beta, but have been there. This is my number one spiciest part of Daggerheart. The part that I still have not quite warmed up to.
Okay,
I accept it as just the way that the game is, but I've said it before on this channel. I love a big sack of hit points, and I love the feeling of dishing out tons of damage. Right, like I miss that. I miss that part. So just to give you the perspective of, I did experience both sides and still don't. This is not my. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't take issue with it. It's just not my favorite.
Well, no, I think we're talking about two different things, though, because what you're talking about that you fundamentally miss is I have 117 hit points and I took a hit for 47 of those. Feels less satisfying to you than I have 6 hit points and someone got severe, so now they took away 3. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, but
Reversed.
reverse
Sure.
that though.
Yeah.
Right.
Like being able to, and I think I fall somewhere in the middle of that spectrum because I know we have talked about this before, where like on the one hand, what I absolutely hate in D&D 5e combat is feeling like we're fighting a sack of hit points, and it's almost like, okay, I hit it again, and I hit it again, and I hit it again, but it feels great when you can deal like 150 points of damage to something and it suddenly goes from like being fine to bloody, or when you have, you've grog strong jawed yourself and you have 290 hit points and it's like, oh, you hit me for 75 hit points. That's fine. I still have so many,
Right.
like
It's cute.
that's so cute. Thank you so much.
Right.
There is a satisfaction there, but
Yeah.
the Daggerheart version of it removes the feeling like removes the pointless sack of hit points situation.
Yeah.
And there is still like some min-maxy things you can do with it. Like as a character, you can be like, okay, what can I do to make my major or my severe threshold just like stupid high? Like how you can still tinker with it in a fun, satisfying way. So there's it's a different, like which flavor am I gonna get today? I like both flavors, but they both like one has a weird aftertaste and one has a weird texture. Like what do I?
Oh, I'll take the weird aftertaste over weird texture.
Over
any
weird
day.
texture. Yes,
Any
Matthew.
day.
Yes. What if I'm going to offer a suggestion because this helped me. What if people that either on the fence or really just want to do a lot of damage, what if you thought of it? You could even, if you were mathy, you could actually work it out. What if you thought of it as your different levels being that amount of hit points that you're losing? And in that way, I think it's even cooler because then the actual hit points become a tracker. And so bloodied, sure. It's like it's just a milestone in your death or your opponent's death. I think if you really need that, I think there's absolutely a way to very easily say, okay, I've got 5 hit points. That equals 300
Well, and
hit points.
this is
Whatever, I don't know.
probably not surprising to anybody. I think my scale is, instead of going for a number, because numbers do not interest me, if I haven't made that clear yet, here we are, words interest me. So like the thing I'm going for is not, I hit you for 79 hit points. It's, I hit you for fucking severe damage. I got an epic hit on you. And I'm saying that when the damages are thresholds, I understand and align with that more than 17 hit points, right? Like when I say, major versus severe.
Maybe it is just a semantic issue for my brain because they still call those hit points.
Maybe
right?
that's it.
But when you think of it, like you're saying, as it is, it's a threshold. So like they've done 37 points of damage to you, and so now you've broken this threshold. That all of a sudden that kind of changes things for my brain.
Ooh, spicy.
Well, because then that fits in with like their scarring system as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. It just feels.
Well, daggum.
I
didn't expect you guys to change my mind on this. I'm leaving.
Well. Isn't language wonderful? And you only made it to 0.4 before your mind got changed.
Listen, we literally have a channel in our phenomenal Discord full of a lot of the nerds you see chatting here in the chat called Word Nerds. Like clearly, we've talked about this being a game for and by theater kids and stuff like that. So words matter. And I'm glad that the words, plunged a hole through your armor on this, Evan. I wasn't out to change anybody's mind, by the way. Your opinions are you were fully entitled to them, and I understand we're all going to differ on this stuff.
Cold, dead heart.
Yeah, we do what we can. But yeah, I personally like damage thresholds more than I like hit points. I like evasion more than I like AC. I like what Not a Hag has to say. Severe damage is easier to turn into hit. You hit him so strongly you can see his breastplate cave in, then that'll be 89 hit points. Yes, exactly.
And so DT said, what if you, Jake Kevin had a good point. It seems like an extra step. There's no purpose. I get that too. But then DT says, hey, what if the GM just doesn't tell you what means, why do you have to share the the different thresholds? I mean, what if you just say you hit him so strongly you see the breastplate cave in? It's it's going to be different at every table. That's what this game is made for. So
I tend to not share the level until they have gone, like, especially severe. Like, I'll just be like, all right, and I'll mark down the damage. But then if they get like over the severe, or if they're really close to getting double the severe, then I might start to use those words. And then we can leave it to our disastrous goth to say words matter, but my siege cannon everywhere. Fire at will. Also, really freaking fair. All right, ready for me to move on from this one?
Yeah,
I think it's time for a new section. Sweet little friends, now that we have kind of addressed the core meat and potatoes of this.
All right.
Let's move into section 2, where we're going to talk about player growth and the spotlight, the actual, playing of the sessions. I love stress.
Oh, no.
I love stress. I love stress so much, and I
stressing me
love.
Yeah, I know.
I love how stress fuels a lot of adversary moves, and so that for me, like Fitz has now said, I don't love when GMs are just a stack of hit points. Yeah. I agree with that, and I like that there's like waves. So it's not how fast can we kill the baddie; it's how fast can we make the baddie vulnerable to what it is that we're doing. Right? It's how much can we play with our food in this food fight of life is what I'm going for. So I love that both players and adversaries have to mark their own stress in order to fuel the cool shit that they want to do. I think that is way more fun than just like action, bonus action, here I go. Like there's it's stakes all the way through. More stress, you're making each other vulnerable. And I love that because again, then it's not just I'm dead. There's layers. It's an onion that we're just peeling here together at the table, and it's gorgeous and fun. And escalation is telegraphed. It's a story that we're all building together, and the thunder rolls in. And I find that fun. But I'm sorry that Garth Brooks is stressing you out here, Evan.
I have a question. Is there an out of combat stress mechanic? Like when you're, it kind of say you're in a, talking to an NPC and trying to get them to do something and you just get so stressed out that you feel emotionally vulnerable?
There is, isn't there?
I'm having a hard time coming up like on the spot with like, yes, here's the domain card that says that. But keep in mind that Daggerheart was specifically written loose and malleable. So at the table, your group can kind of shape it together. So there doesn't have to be a hard and fast rule of here is when you mark a stress, right? So stress is something that the GM can wield at any time. And then stress has stakes. So maybe the stress isn't giving us stakes here in this exact encounter, but the outcome of the encounter, remember, we're beat to beat in Daggerheart. So the outcome of this encounter and the stress that you as a party gained from losing the social war with the adversary that you were trying to talk into your great idea, then has stakes that come into play in the next story beat that we're going to tell together. And I love that. Not a hag. Thank you so much for some pocket change. Not a hag.
A lightning bolt and stormy night.
But not yet.
Now, see, this wouldn't affect you, Evan. But I was trying to think through of the different things that I've played, the different classes I've played in Daggerheart, and what things you would spend stress on, like domain card wise and whatever.
And are you thinking about druids?
I am thinking about druids. So, Evan, this wouldn't apply to you. But if you were a druid and you were stuck in a social situation and you just had to get out of it, you could spend a stress turned into a rat and then run away.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you could.
Yep.
I think, but going back to the original talk of stress, I gotta say, it is the perfect. They have and how words have meaning, right? They have
Yep.
named this the perfect thing
Yep.
because genuinely, when my stress bar starts getting full,
Yep.
I get stressed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
As a
And
player,
so-
you're
As a
stressed
player,
out.
I genuinely get stressed when my stress bar is getting full.
And to that
Yeah.
point, like, let's say that we're in a social encounter and you are, you're marking stress, but you're marking stress both to fuel your moves. DT gave a great one here on Canny Disguise. You mark a stress. There are plenty of domain cards where you're marking stress to fuel the action that you're doing. So both the outcome of the conversation that you're having and the things that you are doing cause you to get really stressed. Well, as a GM, I would be very, very, very free in Daggerheart to say, great, it's not that attacks against you are at disadvantage. It's that for the rest of this scene, every roll you make is at disadvantage because you have maxed out your stress points. Daggerheart gives us the wherewithal without needing to stop and do like a big homebrew moratorium in order to be able to do that mid-scene, which I love.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
Good stuff.
No notes.
All right.
No.
Ready for me
argument
to
here.
roll on out of here so you don't have to look at Garth? What's, no one look
yeah.
at Garth.
I wish it had been Chris. What's his alter ego?
Yeah,
Chris. Something. Anyway,
that was amazing. So weird.
what you got, AK?
I love experiences. And we have said this a lot on this channel, in our Discord, and everything Daggerheart that we have put out. If you haven't played Daggerheart yet, and we know you're out there, and we will do everything in our power to get you into a Daggerheart session if you so choose. But if you have not played Daggerheart yet, and you are still saying experiences are dumb, STFU.
Kindly.
Wow.
Goodbye.
This is something
she said
I-
she was
this
gonna be
is something
spicy. Yeah.
I just don't think that you can have an opinion about until you've played the session. If you have played Daggerheart and you don't like experiences, valid. That's all I'm saying. Experiences are something that make no sense talking about. But I'm telling you, the second that everybody that I know has played Daggerheart, they have gone, oh, okay, I get experiences. I'm not saying they've had to like them. I'm saying they've understood once they've played. And I think, for me, like, in saying these are the things that Daggerheart does better than 5e, I am comparing experiences to feats here. And feats for me feel like this pick list that this very perfect situation has to exactly come together in order for me to be able to use. And that is the opposite of experiences. Experiences are, how do you want to take the relevant situations that have happened to your character in your brain and in the game, and then fuel the fire later, further down the track. And I just think that is so much more fun than spreadsheets and pick lists and, XP and all other manner of different things that experiences might relate to in 5e.
Yeah.
Experiences are my favorite part of Daggerheart. Period.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite just thing that they added in there. And someone said it in chat. Where was it? Not a bug said experiences are tailor-made to provoke people into making awful puns.
Which,
peak
yes,
David.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, it does. I mean, it really, it's
really
the
does.
meme. It's so
Yes.
memey.
It's a moment where you can either be very silly or very heartfelt. Like, you can take it however way you want. Like, depending on
Yes.
the vibe of your game.
Yeah.
If you're playing a very serious table, you could have very serious and functional experiences. If you're playing something silly, you can do song lyrics and puns and stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fun.
Any reason to inject a song lyric or movie quote,
Yes.
I'm for.
And I'll say this real quick. Fire Drake says experiences made the best part of Fate system and brought it into a D&D like game, which is, I really do agree with this, in that I feel like this is a perfect balance. I've been reading Legend in the Mist, the new hotness. What do they call it? It's basically like if the movie Willow was an RPG. And the entire game is experiences. The entire game, like every single stat, every feat, everything is basically experiences. So if you really, really love experiences, I'm not saying that I do. It goes a little far for me, but in Daggerheart, such a great balance of it. I love it.
Yeah. And I gave you Veruca here because I like that you can that like I want it nowness is the like getting to use them whenever you want to, as opposed to waiting for this perfect situation to line up that says now I use my feet.
Yeah.
I want it now. What were you, Evan? Did I just cut you off?
No. I've thoughts and feelings. I think one of my biggest beefs with feats is that there's this sense.
Beef feet.
That's right. Yeah. Is that there's a sense of like, oh, I can't wait till I get to this level and I can get this feat. But then, and you get to choose from all this different stuff. But then you have to, for me, not everyone cares. I want to be able to justify how my character got this feat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if there's no way to justify that in the story that you're currently in, that it's like,
I love that.
How does this work? You just like magically, now I can do this weird thing. So
talk about more work, right? Like, talk about bending more.
Yeah, right. You have to do mental story gymnastics just to justify that.
Well, and DT is saying that, you do make some up, and that's why I was saying like what's in your brain first and then what comes out in game. Yeah. So yes, you create somewhat character creation, but then your later experiences at your level ups really should be about what you and your party have encountered together.
Exactly. And that will then influence or can influence the experiences that you then later take on.
Exactly.
Which that is really cool. I have one other thought, which is, let's see, David says, yeah,
exactly.
The other thought, though, is the effect, and correct me if I'm wrong, the effect of an experience is you add it, you spend a hope. Mechanically, this is how it works, right? You spend a hope, and you can then use your experience in a way that is, the GM can justify whether it's usable in that moment or not. But what happens is it just adds another point or two or whatever to your roll.
Two or three. Yeah.
So the one thing that I would say that I would be neat if it's even really mechanically possible. One thing that about feats is that it's not always about numbers. It's about something that you could do that's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there was a mechanic that allowed for that more than just like, oh, then now you get to add a couple of points to your roll, but now you can do something new. Like maybe it's a new card or I don't know. That would be something that would interest me.
I've both been in games and GM'd games. The main thing is you do have to spend the resource of fear to use an experience. But I've had people be like, I have this experience that's really relevant to this. So it's like I've said like, okay, let's make an instinct roll or a presence or knowledge or whatever it is that they're going for. But then they have used the experience. It's not necessarily always an attack, right? Like you have to have the roll there to add to it. But because they have this relevant experience in that thing, I'm going to let them be in the spotlight, tell that beat based around that experience, if that's helpful. I hear you saying I also want like a mechanical benefit, like I get an extra card or I get this.
Right.
Heard.
Yeah, you get a different move. You get something, you get spider climb or something like.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like maybe experiences lives somewhere between feats and like proficiencies, like skill proficiencies in D&D, because there aren't skills that you can get proficiency or expertise in Daggerheart, but you can have experiences which are a little bit more malleable. So like it doesn't matter that I have proficiency in animal handling because there is no animal handling, but I do have an experience that's like dog whisperer or something. So I can use that for multiple different types of checks rather than just having proficiency in animal handling. So it's like more of a versatile skill bonus.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Because I see what you're saying. With feats, it would be almost like you get like a it would be nice if you got like a watered down domain card or something, depending on what it is. Or like if you have a really like generous GM, maybe depending on your experience, you can do some of these things.
Yeah. And Kai backs this up. This is what I was trying to say badly, that If a character has an experience in something that they shouldn't roll, it just happens. All right. I will warn you guys now. My juiciest ones are in the final section, so let's move through the next few. I'm looking at time here.
Let the juices flow, baby.
And just talk about this. I want to swing from the chandelier. So no opportunity attack tax. Yes, I know warriors have attacks of opportunity. So again, hand wave there. But I love that, again, we're making this happen and flow beat to beat, and we're not worried about these just pesky little things that arise. And the opportunity attack is one that just kind of stops people in their tracks, and they have to decide if they want to use their reaction, or have they already used their reaction, and do they want and it just becomes this like repetitive, like I hit you for the sake of hitting you, rather for it having stakes and meaning. Matt, I'm going to stop talking now because you have feelings about opportunity attacks. I'm going to let you talk about them.
This is my reaction is just I can't stand opportunity attacks in 5th edition, especially with just every single creature on the planet being able to do it. I love dungeon coaches think only let the marshals that have a training. I also love concepts of making those attacks disadvantaged, but this is just I mean, it keeps people from moving. It keeps monsters from moving for the GM, and therefore it just complicates me what I'm doing as a GM or a player so much. I can't stand them, and I love this leveling of a field.
Yep. And that's what the overarching theme of this is that there are so many things that I feel like 5e does that just slam the brakes on so many things.
Just slam the freaking brakes.
Combat is a slog. Yes. We're constantly, whereas this is just like, do what you want to do and have fun. And yes, there's guardrails, but like, take out all the noisy bits. And that's what no opportunity attack.
This can cause like order of operations issues in D&D, and then that's never fun to have to like.
Yep. All right. Love that one. We'll move on from it. Moving into section 3.
Juicy.
GM tools and counter design. I really just love what Daggerheart gave us out of the box. I love motives and tactics. I mean, we have now done a couple of adversary specific TPDLs where we have, built them in detail with y'all. And so you've heard me yell, what's my motivation? And I love, we actually had this discussion in our Discord of, is Loki like, is he a villain? Because I said, like, what villain do you want to befriend? And depending where in the arc you are, we could have that argument about Loki. But like, I love that his motivation is that he is burdened with glorious purpose. And I love that Daggerheart has given us a system where you can use that, and it's much more than, say it again with me, everybody, a sack of hit points. It's so much more fun and easy, I think, to prep. As someone who has just never found her rhythm in 5e as a GM, I spend forever trying to build and balance baddies there, and I just don't. And like, I just can make them do what I want to do so much more seamlessly in Daggerheart, and it can make fights feel personal. You can do a better job of really flavoring the adversaries for the group that they're fighting in a much just easier. I keep using the word seamless, but that's how it feels to me.
Yeah.
So I love the adversary flavor and how we build them and what they do, and being motivation driven. Anything else there?
Well, never GM'd at Daggerheart, so I have nothing to add to this.
I'll just very quickly add, again, it's not that there are people who do not add these things to stat blocks for 5e. Sure. The dungeon dudes.
Yes.
Mike Shea, it's like MCDM. It can be done, but it's not a part of the game. A lot of these things are probably going to be but it's not a part of the game. You are homebrewing a game.
Yeah,
and that's not what we're talking about. So that's all.
Not a hag, just
not a hag. I'm into this. Perfect. Nailed it. 10 out of 10. No notes. Y'all know how we love Ding Dang here.
And one of its attacks is Bing Bong Fuck Your Life.
Fitz, look away.
No.
I am actually considering this my personal mission. I am going to get you to be comfortable with. Oh wow, she really left.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable.
I think that there is a way. I think we're gonna have to work together on this for you to become more comfortable when countdowns hit the table. And here's why, because countdowns don't have to be time based. Matt and I just finished the edits on a new pocket guide. We're hoping it'll be out next week. And Matt and I spend the entire episode in a countdown showing how it's not tied to time. And then we look away from the clock, especially neurospicy friends.
It does not have to be tied to time.
I love, we've got standard, we've got dynamic, we've got long-term, like all these different ways that are just about like keeping the action moving along so nothing gets stuck or feels stagnant. And then this idea of like the threats are escalating beat to beat. And all countdowns have to be is just a visual reminder, again, of that build. So it's not, I'm trying to hit you until you're dead. I'm trying to hit you until you're dead.
Yeah.
Feels better. Fitz, do you want me to move on now?
For the folks who either are timer averse or have people at their table who are timer averse, just like, you can check in and see. Because for me, it's the time-based timers that send me into a spiral. If it's a timer where if you're upfront about it and you say, okay, so in 4 actions, something is going to happen. Because then that instead triggers my like strategist part of my brain, whereas a time-based timer triggers the panic part of my brain.
Exactly.
So like you can just choose the kind of countdown that fits best for your group.
Yes.
Hey man, you just have to choose if your fight or flight or freeze thing is kicking in. You just have to choose to fight. Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Just punch the computer screen. I don't like this. Bam, bam.
Yeah.
Disastrous Goth.
You have a choice.
Yeah.
Bringing up a tenet of Shadow Dark is you've got 1 hour of real time play.
That part,
in Shadow
that
Dark.
part was so, whenever we would start getting close to the hour mark, I would start getting real freaking
sweaty. You were sweating.
Flopping.
Furniture sweat all over the place.
And exactly on this. They're the reminder, and that's why I say that they're canon. It's something is coming. And again, it's not that you can't use countdowns in 5e. It's that I personally have not seen a written ruling on countdowns in 5e of how to flavor this,
Yeah, I don't think.
I could be wrong there. I'm not the 5e expert.
Let me add a tiny thing to that. Also, countdowns don't have to be, they can be a GM tool only. Like, we're playing 5e, but
the player's not aware that it's happening.
They don't have to be, right? Or they definitely don't have to be aware of what it might be. We're fighting Strahd, and I have 3 or 4 countdowns going on based on certain things. Some of them you know about, and some of them you don't. But it doesn't matter. It's for me. It's also like a tool, which I just also love.
Yeah, and also I haven't GM'd Daggerheart, but having GM'd D&D, like one way in which particularly from the GM side I could see it being useful would be for things like rechargeable things that your baddie can do. Like I'm thinking of like a dragon breath, how you'd like roll a d6 and sometimes that could be tedious to keep track of. So like as a GM, you could have some sort of countdown on your side of the screen that's like, okay, well, after either everybody goes once or 15 minutes or what, like you can have your own personal countdown of like, okay, once this threshold is crossed, then this thing recharges that it can do.
And consequences happen on both sides of the table, right? So there could be a consequence against the GM that a countdown is counting up or down towards, where again we've got long-term countdowns, we've got dynamic countdowns, so there can be this like push-pull pendulum tug of war thing going on between like the countdown is when you guys rend something asunder or get some kind of major reward. It's a major reward, or something like that, as opposed to just like when 30 minutes is done, you're all dead. I like the way it's handled more. All right, we'll count down from our countdown. And move into the section. I did realize after I put this together, so I'm going to go ahead and call this out at the beginning. I think that this one was so big, and that's why I didn't include it. So now I'm just going to slide number 14 in here at the top. I forgot to include death moves. I'm sorry.
Well,
we talked about it like a little bit,
lot, yeah.
and it's just, like I said, I think it's just so big that I got blind to it, and I'm very, very sorry.
We
But
talked
these
about
are
it. We love them. Moving on.
we talk about it. We love it. I think it's because 5e doesn't even come close to it. Like it's not even on.
Right.
It's not even in the cage for the cage match in that head to head. It's
Right.
maybe why I forgot about it here.
D&D rolled a death save and failed
Yep.
before it even showed up. Yep.
So, kind of counting down now to the end of this, number 10, initiative is canceled. Another one that did not make any sense in my brain until I played it for the first time. So please, for the love, if you haven't played Daggerheart yet, play it before you judge how an initiative-less system feels. Daggerheart took the waiting room for turns and burned it down.
Yep.
It becomes a conversation of who's ready to move and how are we going to work together as a team. And scenes now flow at the speed of the story rather than, by something that is rolled at the beginning of the session and now we have to just be stuck with for the duration until it is done.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we say
Fresh.
about no initiative? It feels crescent fresh, if you will.
Now
Yeah.
that I'm used to it,
Wow.
I really hate
Deep-
going back
deep
to an
cut.
initiative system. I just I feel claustrophobic. I feel boxed in.
Yeah.
like
Feel bored.
I feel bored.
I do.
I feel like I want to check my email.
What's going on Facebook right
God. Never check your email.
I'm always checking my email.
Anytime.
I'm
Yep.
always checking my email.
now? Yep.
Yeah. Talk about burning it down.
Oh no, we're
No,
dropping
love it.
mics in the
Drop
in
them.
the chat.
Love it.
What did Mike
Sound
ever do to
guys
you?
all across the world are so upset.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Stop dropping mics, everybody. Maybe I should have chosen a better, more
Stop,
inclusive
drop, and
phrase.
roll.
Send stuff.
All right. Goodbye, initiative. You have been canceled. I think another
Good
one of
job.
the big
Good
showstoppers. Like, what
job.
do we even say about this? This is the reason I don't like playing any other system now because I can't
Yeah.
play with my group.
It's so much harder. So much harder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have we wanted to my friend just went unconscious and they're 35 feet away from me. That's nice. It's going to take me 2 turns to walk over there. And then when I pick them up, I'm going to be moving at half speed. But because I can't do my action, y'all,
Yeah.
it's so annoying. This is great.
It
No
is-
initiative and tag team is just it makes combat so delicious.
It's
Tastes like
it's got to mean something. It's got to mean something that DC-20, Daggerheart, Nimble, all have these similar things. Addressing initiative and helping in combat, like making that a huge part of the focus. Tag teaming, helping, jumping in front. And it's just it's mind-blowing really that 5th edition
2024 didn't address it.
doesn't
It would break too
I'm
much.
sure that they
It would
address
break
it. I'm
way
sure
too
that
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just not as clever as these other systems are coming out.
And to that point, I think it's pretty apparent that if we all decide to sit around a table together and immerse ourselves in this fantasy world, we would want to play with each other. It seems like such a bonehead move. It wasn't ever part of,
and your
it's-
GMs do not want to watch you checking your email. I don't.
If I wanted
really
to-
don't.
Yeah.
if I didn't want to play with that's what Baldur's Gate is for. If I want to
Yes.
just go beat a baddie by myself, I can go play a video game. I don't need you yoo-hoos, but I am choosing to invest hours a week into you yoo-hoos. I want to play with you. I want to play with you.
Yeah.
Play with your blood.
This is a good point. I love tag teams so much. I keep prodding my players to remember to use it. Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to have to.
You will.
For a while, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, right, remember that awesome thing that we did?" Because nothing. I mean, you were talking about at Gen Con that one super moment of a tag team and a table across from yours, where you thought the world was ending based on the fervor that the people at the table experienced. It is the most exciting freaking moment when a tag team goes off right.
Yep.
So good.
You will have to
So good.
You will have to remind players to use their tag teams. Just know that is especially if your group is just starting out on Daggerheart. And you will have to remind players that tag teams are best used for damage. I'm not saying don't tag team when it's not a damage fueled thing. But going all the way back to the beginning of this, where we talk about trying to hit double the severe threshold so you can really pack a wampum, that's what tag teams are built for. That's what they're so great for. So if two people want to collaborate in some other way, I might even as a GM find a way for them to do it without spending that 3 hope resource. I might just say, yeah, what are y'all trying to do? Go be blessed. But if you're trying to get a good big hit on, remind your
hit on. Get your hit on. Yeah.
I wonder if tables who haven't played other games before, if they're starting on like if Daggerheart is their first TTRPG, I wonder if tag teams get used more naturally because the hope hasn't been beaten out of the souls of the D&D player who wants to do something cool with their friend and then gets told no, or you have to wait your turn.
Yep.
So I think D&D players have like learned not to do it, whereas because I think like I think back to 2020 when we were just starting to play D&D together. I think there were plenty of times in combat where we wanted to pair up or we wanted as a group to go in and do something creative, and generally like it doesn't really work like that. So
oops, come back screens. I see a lot of chitter. We struck a nerve talking about people being on phones and checking social media. If you're new to the channel, Matt and I have a podcast called ADHD 20, which is life at the intersection of ADHD and TTRPGs. And this is something that has often come up because I am addicted to my phone. We've had a whole calling out of me episode, nicely and with love, because I need it to be. I do, to this point that Not a Hag made, I do use my phone as a fidget. I channel my energy into like a mindless game that I can be playing so that I am listening better, because if I am not doing that thing, then I'm disruptive and annoying. But like we've had to reach that agreement as a table. So if you have people on their phones and y'all as a table haven't talked about it, we're not vilifying phones. We're vilifying disruption, which is what.
I mean, look what I have to do just to get through this freaking live stream. So we get it. But
we get it.
It's one thing when it's in person versus online, where you can kind of hide the phone, but in person it changes the air in the room for sure.
But I would even say that like in the times that we've played with each other in person D&D, I was like, how do I pull that sentence back into
DT's gonna quote you.
I know. I was like, how do I get DT to not quote us? And maybe it's just because we haven't if maybe it would be different if it was a game that we were playing at a table together weekly, and maybe it would lose the novelty and the sheen. But at least for us, since we don't get to play in person as frequently, when we are at a table together, it's so much easier to focus and be locked in regardless of the system. Like I don't think us mindlessly gazing into the abyss really happens when we're in person. It's just when we're sitting in our own little bubbles playing virtually that the temptation is really great.
Yeah. And Matt, basically explained, when I see your phone light up physically at the table, it takes me out of the moment. And I went, oh, okay. I get it now. Yeah. So it's worth a conversation. If this struck a chord, chat about it. We did, and we're better for it. Yeah. All right. Moving on from the tag team. For enough said, we sure do have a lot to say.
I know.
The penultimate point. Creativity is better than action economy. Burn the spreadsheet down.
How to way to find a place in my heart is to use Ron Swanson's argument.
Yeah. And listen, there is a lot of negative things that could be said about Ron Swanson. I am not saying be Ron Swanson in all that you do.
Sure.
But when it comes to your willingness to burn things down and be loyal to your friends, be the Ron Swanson you wish to see in this world. I think, and we have said this time and time and time again, when you're playing Daggerheart, it comes down to what are the cool things that my friends and I are going to do in this moment to tell a really cool story, and not how am I going to use my action? How am I going to use my bonus action? Where am I going to move?
Yeah.
There's multiple Ron Swanson gifts that would have worked for this. I believe isn't there one where he's like, you need a permit, and he hands it over, and he's like, this just says I can do what I want. That works in this scenario as well.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm getting some pushback on if you love spreadsheets, I am not here to yuck your yum. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Use this, to get rid of the thing that you don't love. I don't want to take anybody's pet.
You can, if you so desire, you can make Daggerheart crunchier. You can team up with the people at your table to really try to make your domain cards and tag teaming and things like that as effective as possible. You could do that. Or you could just say, fuck it, and throw things in a dumpster, because why the hell not?
You can add initiative. Yeah, you can do things. But yeah.
I think this helped me clarify in my mind something about Daggerheart that is challenging for an anxious person.
Okay.
Like myself, which is that there's so much agency for creativity. It's fostered and encouraged in pretty much every aspect of gameplay, which is a beautiful thing. No argument. But as an anxious person, I internalize that as pressure to perform. It's you are not, even if you're not doing an actual play, all of a sudden there's a performance aspect of this because that is kind of built for that.
Yeah.
And as a performer with anxiety, you don't want to be bad. You want to be good. Right. So I find that whether it's like, oh, there's pressure to like come up with the most creative thing or say, or, or have like the most creative tag team idea, or it's very much an always on, like you really have to pay attention, and you're paying attention to that while you're trying to like think about what your character might say, plus what something cool would be to do. I get a little, it's not a issue with the game. It's an issue with my relationship with anxiety and performance. But I do experience that when you don't have like, okay, now here's the moment where I can use this feat, or this is my bonus action time that I can do this thing that I do. I have to be, there's a innate sense of like, I have to wow all the other players every time I open my mouth. Right. And that's, that again, this is not addressing the game mechanic at all.
Yeah.
This is just something that I find is interesting about my relationship with Daggerheart.
Well, might I be a diva for a moment and give you some advice as the Darrington Press Player of the Year?
Yes.
Let me just for a moment here.
Yes,
if you
please.
want to take some sage advice and reframe, sort of like we reframed the hit point thing earlier. If you want to be like me, all you have to do is channel your inner raccoon and think, whatever, I do what I want. And just be as weird and feral as you want.
It's true.
And then sometimes it works. So just don't even.
Sometimes it works.
So you don't have to.
And sometimes you win awards for that.
Sometimes you win awards for that. Look, just. It feels like you're having anxiety over the blank page, and that the draft of what you say or what you want to do has to be the final end product. And what I'm saying is I'm giving you the freedom to take your little raccoon hands and just dig into the dumpster and figure it out together with your GM and your friends.
It's more like playing music, right? Where you're going to play some clams. But when you're playing live music, you just say, fuck it, I played some clams, we're moving on.
Yeah. Just accept that you're going to hit some wrong notes.
One of my all-time favorite moments in any game that we have ever played with anybody was the game that we played. It was DT's first game with us and Elise's first game ever. Elise is Evan's wife, who has never ever played a TTRPG before. Yeah. And there was a moment in the game where DT, who was new to us, didn't know all of us quite yet, and now he is our overlord.
Right.
Was able to pull from his basement, was able to pull Elise out of her shell and offer up a tag team that made her look so freaking great. And DT looked great doing it too. It was such it was one of my favorite moments ever for that moment that like, and so if that, like, you don't have to have all the answers. That's why we play these things as a team. Like, that's why the whole point of this is creativity and storytelling together, because the stories that any one of us would tell individually might pale in comparison to like somebody being like, so like, I never am looking to you guys as the GM as like, all right, come up with this, like, entertain me, peasants, but
Entertain me, peasants.
I prefer plebe, but
entertain me, plebe.
I like what Kai said. Oh, sorry, continue that thought.
Well, I was like, Daggerheart fun, and that, I mean, this goes back to the tag teams. Like, that would have never happened in 5e, right? Because like that tag team, I mean, we can find ways to spotlight other players and other systems, yes, but like, it's okay to rely on other people. You bring other things to the table. The new players at my team last week said, "Oh, Daggerheart is like jazz." Yes.
And okay, but let me. It is more true even than you would imagine, because you could talk to our friend Tay, who is the biggest fan of a very low lift, low mechanic game. That's where he lives and breathes. He is, biggest fan. I would agree with this, Kai, because I think that Daggerheart, just like jazz, there are mechanics. You have mechanics. There are plenty of mechanics in that game, and that gives you structure that allows you then to improvise with such beautiful technique. Or if you don't want to be a soloist, you're in the jazz band. You're still a core player, harmonizing and doing all the right things. I think that's beautiful, actually.
I love it.
Let's switch that.
Question: if you're playing Daggerheart set in a Star Wars setting, is it does a big is it jizz? Daggerheart is
we
like
all know
jizz?
it's jizz. We all know it's jizz.
Oh God!
Always and forever. All right, are we ready? So I have saved my biggest, like, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I have a big opinion for last.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Lay it on.
And that is Ancestry plus community equals heritage is so much better, so much more inclusive, so much, like, every word in that vein you can think of, because we're not, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. It's it's not something that a bunch of white dudes in the 70s came up with and we just accepted as canon for decades and decades and decades. I vividly remember the first time that, and I'm saying this as a person of pallor, as a white person, that one of my friends who is a person of color came to me in a game and they were wanting to use this, if I'm being brutally honest, kind of broken, homebrewed ancestry. And when I questioned why, because I was wanting to like have everybody build the character that they wanted to build, and it was because she wanted to see herself in a character. She hadn't seen that in any of the 5e races.
That's a good point. Yep.
And I remember like that striking me in the chest of like, that hadn't even entered my little pea brain, because I've gotten to look at all of these pictures of elves, and things like that, who might look more like me than other people. And I just think that what Daggerheart has been able to do with this change, and I'm seeing a lot of other systems do so much with it as well. I think this is not solely a Daggerheart, but just kind of moving all of this into a conversation of the future. So it's not like this, my race is the thing and I am tied to that, and that is the thing that influences my physical stats, the way that I act in game, who I am. And I love that they've tied it to this. I put the Ohana on here because Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind. And I love the feeling of like found family in Daggerheart in a way that I just haven't seen in other systems, but especially not in 5e. And I just think that's I think that's important. And I don't know that enough people are really talking about that. I think it's kind of, for me, has become this bubbling undercurrent that I wanted to plant a flag in today and say, I see you and I appreciate it. And I like that we have made this and going beyond just ancestry, like we look it through and we see, characters with physical disabilities and differences. And we, Matt and I are learning how to account for neurospiciness in both, player and characters and things like that. And I want to live in this world where everybody is invited to the table and has a seat at it. regardless of how they may have been born or other choices they may have made in their lives along the way. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think
excited
you couldn't end on a
super-
final,
yeah.
final
No,
note.
I'm excited
Yeah, I
because you
don't-
know that they keep on. They're going to be rolling out more of these too, so it's only going to become more opportunities for inclusion. The more the void gets through some of these.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
decoupling the ancestry from the community. It just
Yep.
it also just gives you more versatility to build the character that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got some great comments coming in live chat on that. I want people to be able to look in the book and see things that they relate to. And then I want that exact point fits people to be able to build what it is that they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and again, that's the reason that I feel like a lot of people say Daggerheart is a new thing. It's a new, it's not light, it's not heavy, rules heavy, it's rules medium, because it's not so at the precipice, right? Like, it does give you pictures of people like you and talks about.
Yep.
It gives you the structure, and then you get to be as open with it as you need and want.
Crispy.
Yeah, I really want to call out that I want to call out the art as well. Like Kai mentioned how it affected them seeing art of somebody who they related to deeply, and I mean, especially in a time when so many there's so many scandals now of some of these bigger companies using AI art rather than paying artists. Not one of the things that I love about Darrington and Daggerheart is that the art has been so intertwined with the game from start to finish, and they're getting some really amazing artists, and they're trying to make the art as broad and as possible so that more people feel welcomed into the game than before.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yep. I
As
love
it
what
should
Mike said here, one step forward by decoupling ability scores from species and one step back by then tying them to backgrounds.
Right.
And yes, any of this stuff can be homebrewed. But we're talking about the way it is out of the game, written in the game. There's now a love fest going on in the chat of who Daggerheart has allowed us to meet, which I can't shout from the heavens loud enough either. And I think it's all because it has said there's room at these tables. Let's make some room for everybody. When inclusion is a core, pillar, a lot of cool things happen. So good on ya. Good on you, Darrington.
Yep.
You love to see it.
All right. And that concludes my presentation for today.
Beautiful.
Was it PPT, TPD, PPT?
TPP. The things that Daggerheart got right. And I'm sure, I already noticed and called myself out for missing death moves. We could do part 2. I'm okay with there being an electric boogaloo to all of this.
Yeah. Or, again, do people want to see a PowerPoint about other systems, right? We don't have to be a D&D bashing, PowerPoint. It doesn't have to be that. Not that this was, really. But I do love these types of discussions because it both cements the things that we love about it. It gives maybe a chance for us to give a different perspective, like Evan, and say, So there's a lot of games that I think could do this trick with.
DT, just transfer it. There was some tithing going on for the Overlord here.
Guys, we do not do that. We are not. No. You may send pocket change, but you cannot send us taxes.
To take with us to the afterlife. Us to
the afterlife.
I mean, I guess if you want to give us some money so that we can go speak to Beelzebub and get you a nice Airbnb down there, sure,
there we
I guess.
go. But yes to everything that you just said, Matt. I think the thing I have realized both like over the course of today and by putting this together, I think where I firmly lie, because we're not here to bash D&D. There's a lot of heart and good work. And I mean, D&D was the gateway for myself and many of us watching this. I think what it comes down to for me is I will probably continue to enjoy playing D&D. I think my days running it are limited, if not non-existent. I have next to no desire to run it, but I'll play. Like if you want to invite me to your game, I'll play. I'll play anything.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I mean, candidly, there are Daggerheart and D&D. They scratch different itches. You know, like if I want the place where maybe D&D still outstrips Daggerheart, and I don't think it's going to take long for Daggerheart to catch up, is just that because D&D has been around for so much longer, there's just been more expansions, and so there's more options for like, you know, playing different subclasses. You know, like Tasha's Cauldron had added all this other stuff. Like there's just some more variety. As you play I can see that like playing Daggerheart right now, if you're kind of churning and burning, you might get through stuff. Like you might get through all the options faster, whereas D&D you got a lot more to choose from. So like there's that. Sometimes it is fun to strategize in a little bit more of a crunchier system. So maybe D&D would be nice there, but like overall, I think Daggerheart is like the new shiny kid on the block, and I gravitate more towards it, at least for now.
It's not even just a new shiny. It's like it's the one that just shines to us, right? Like it's there are some amazing new shinies that people have brought up, and they are great.
There's lots of new shinies. But
so many new shinies.
So bright.
But this
one just shines to us. It really
it does. It shines specifically to us because it solves a lot of pain points we've had with playing.
I've never been more aware of the fact that I have the word shine tattooed on my body than I am in this moment with as many times as you guys.
I've had a question that since great PowerPoint, but like about halfway through, something occurred to me, and I'm curious to hear your response, because I haven't experienced this. You've played a lot more Daggerheart on probably both sides of the table. You know, speaking to 5e and how it can like it can just slow down by its own game mechanics, but then there's also the dreaded, probably my biggest pet peeve is when you're sitting at a table and someone starts to argue with the DM about rules, right? Like, and there's like talk about taking you out of the moment.
Deep breath.
It takes forever. It's like, who cares? Let's move on, right? Like, no one cares how much you know about D&D. It's such a buzzkill, right? I have not experienced that at a Daggerheart table as a GM. Have you witnessed that? Have you witnessed any rules lawyering?
A little bit. Interestingly enough, at Gen Con, when I ran 5 sessions.
Interesting.
And not especially if anybody that I had 5 brilliant tables. I could not have gotten any luckier as a first time con GM than I was at Gen Con. What was interesting to me is there were a couple people that tried to cite rules from beta that I had to update them and say, great call out. Love that you know that. That is actually no longer a thing in the full release. And none of them, and again, we've talked about this at length too. I don't know if it's just the type of person that Daggerheart attracts. But people tend to be like less arguey about it, and they'll ask it more. They'll frame it as a question, is what I've encountered more than like, no, I can't. I mean, I get, like I'm thinking about like some of the sessions I've played at with like Bladebound, who Daniel is just a sponge for all things Daggerheart. And so there have, I guess, been a couple of times it'll be on our channel eventually, we promise. I did a Colossus of the Drylands one shot featuring Matt, our friend Seth of All Trades, Daniel and AJ of Bladebound Saga, and Rachel of Faint Divinities. And because we had a lot of Daggerheart, yes, the hotness, because we had a lot of Daggerheart knowledge at that table, nobody argued with me, but there were like a couple moments of like, oh, well, and then we would just kind of talk about it and then move on. None of it was like divisive. None of it was like stopped the flow. it was more a conversation of like, I'm trying to do X, Y, Z, and my understanding of the rule is this. Will you allow that? Is how it tends to come out in Daggerheart, whereas it does tend to get more heated in.
Yeah, much more heated. I wouldn't say that it's immune, but I would say that Daggerheart out of the gate is more resistant to lawyering. Just because it's like
reason number 14.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee that you won't have any rules lawyering at your table, but it's likely to be less.
Yeah.
I'm sure now that I've built him up, let me tear him down. I'm sure that Digital Twisted in at least one of the sessions I played with him as well actually to me and told me I was wrong about something in that. I'm positive.
I can.
That's just how he was.
Okay, I'm just wow. Somebody make a gif of DT as Regina George being pushed under the bus.
I was too nice to him earlier, so I had to back that up.
Yeah, it's true. You can't be too nice.
Putting the spice back in Neurospice right here on TPDL.
I also want to call this out. This great question. I mean, Matt and I have a whole podcast on it, as we mentioned, ADHD 20. Like the amount of self-discovery. I literally learned. I've told this story often. I did not understand what RSD, rejection sensitive dysphoria, a very common tenet of lots of neurospice. Didn't understand what it meant until I experienced it in game, and then went, oh my God, this changes everything. It is such, these games are such cool. DT, you know I love playing with you, and you know that when you rules lawyer me, it's usually because I ask you to help. Sorry, now he's in the comments, so let me clear that up.
But we all love DT.
We do.
We all love each other here.
We're all neurospicy. We all love DT. We all use this to help understand, fuel our neurospice
and fuel
it.
That's also
it fuels.
I'd say it fuels mine more than it's like helps, but that's another form of self-discovery, I suppose.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, because there are, and especially when Matt and I have these conversations on ADHD 20, basically it's a nice way to say like, hey, I've noticed this thing you do at the table, Allison, that you also do in real life. But like, it's a kinder, gentler way to bring something that I need to pay attention to my attention, to say you did it at the table, and then leave it to me to be like, because there's a little bit of you in every character you build, right?
100%.
So
or me 100%. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing 100%. About any of Evan's characters. So good.
Well, good work. Good work. If that didn't convince you to go out and buy Daggerheart, we can't help you.
Man, we got to reach out to Derek to get an affiliate link or something. We're out here being salespeople.
I just hope it doesn't result in like the Pinkertons arriving at my door.
For what?
You can
the
know
takedown of 5e I just did.
Yeah, they're serving you a restraining order against D&D.
If there's a hit on me, are y'all going to protect me? Is what I want to know. What is my?
Well, what's your AC? Get it? Because there's a hit out on you.
I don't have an AC. I have an evasion
That's the show,
score.
You guys.
Okay. If you have joined us today and this is your first time, we loved having you here. If you are watching this back later and wondering who all we're talking to, we have a phenomenal live chat. We're live here every Friday at 12:30 ET, and we'd love for you to be part of the live chat or hop in the comments later. In our show notes is our gorgeous Discord, where it's free. Hop in, come chat with all of us. We're weird, wild, and wonderful, much like West Virginia.
Same lovely people.
That's right.
Just a whole lot more of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling us lovely. Why not? Just,
I own that.
Yeah. Yes.
Own that. Happy birthday, Evan. Happy birthday, Kai. May the celebrations continue throughout the weekend. We are very glad that y'all were born. Any other housekeeping notes before we sing us on out of here?
Got an episode 2 of The Adventures of Nigel, Twigget, and Squeef. Come out on Tuesday.
Nice.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. If you want that automatically in your Apple like podcast queue, you better follow that stuff. That snaps.
Yep.
Yeah. Drop a follow, baby.
Drop a follow.
Follow. Yeah. Fire Drake wants a song. Gonna drop a follow.
Gonna drop a news.
All right, keep singing. I'll hit the button when I'm ready. When you guys keep.
I'm just backing you up.
Yeah,
Keep
you
going.
gotta drop, follow.
Don't drop a deuce.
Don't drop a deuce.
Why are you stopping? Keep going.
I'm waiting for y'all to sing it.
No,
All
I'm
right.
talking to Matt. Well, he keeps stopping after
Matt,
one line.
start singing and then I'll press the button.
Okay. Gonna drop a follow.
Gonna drop a deuce.
And when you are here with me.
Oh.